So now you know about the tried and true transformation techniques that are an essential part of the Body for Life program. And remember, these are the steps that we need to take in order to cross that abyss. These are the steps that we need to take to change on the inside. And that's where true transformation starts. Now, let's turn our attention to the outside. And let's learn how to eat right and exercise. Because that's really all there is to it, right? Eat right and exercise? I mean, there's a person in America who hasn't heard that advice 100 times, is there? Eat right and exercise. That sounds simple enough. But if that really is the answer, why are so many millions of people out of shape? Why do so many millions of men and women perish painfully and sometimes prematurely? The way I see it, the motto, eat right and exercise, is to health and fitness what the expression take it easy is to psychology. Neither offer much of anything in terms of useful information. So is there really a solution? A real answer? And if so, what is it?
There are a lot of people that really don't care, that really don't want to make a change. They just want to continue to deteriorate as they age. You must want to make the change.
There really is a right way to get in and stay in great shape. The solution starts with mastering the mindset techniques to cross that abyss we talked about earlier. Then you must follow a specifically structured, integrated system of exercise, nutrition, and supplementation. The Body for Life program. Once you learn how to use this system, you'll be able to lose whatever amount of body fat you decide to shed. Once you apply the Body for Life program, you'll also be able to build and define your muscles, enabling you to completely control the shape of your physique. Once you learn this program, you'll be able to do just about anything you decide to do with your body. And mark my words, when you make that breakthrough, once you achieve that level of power and control over your body, you will simultaneously harness a level of inner strength you may not even know you possess.
I never realized that my health had that sort of an impact on my attitude. And now I can see it so clearly. It means everything.
When you're looking in the mirror and you see your body changes, it changes your self-confidence and how you feel about yourself and maybe how you view yourself or think other people view you.
My energy level is equivalent to what it was when I was in my 20s.
I know that I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to doing.
But before we get to the nuts and bolts of the program itself, let's take a closer look at what eat right and exercise really means. Let's answer all those questions such as, what should I eat? When should I eat? How much and why? What kind of exercise should I do? How often? When, where, and why? Once we get these issues cleared up, we'll move on with the program itself. Let's start with nutrition. Think about this for a moment. Within a year, virtually every cell which makes up the body you have right now will be gone. No, that doesn't mean you'll be vaporized, and I'm not talking about Armageddon. The fact of the matter is, your entire body is completely recreated every year. Out with the old, in with the new. Your skin, your muscles, your organs, everything about you is constantly degenerating and regenerating. Right around age 25, that natural process of building up that your body has undergone since birth crosses over to a process of degeneration. You actually start breaking down faster than you're growing. A similar process occurs with all living things. For example, a tree grows until it stops growing, then it begins dying. This is natural, but it's not inevitable. You see, unlike a plant, we can do something. We can adapt and evolve. We can change. We don't have to lose muscle and gain fat, and feel tired, give up, and give in as we age. We can look better. We can feel better. We can move forward and change in a positive way all our life. The question is how? Well, you know that old saying, use it or lose it? I've discovered it's actually true. I call it the law of nature. Use your brain or you won't be able to think as sharply or clearly as you once did. Use your muscles or nature will take them away.
I knew that if I didn't do something, it was definitely going to be downhill. The mindset of a lot of people in this country is that when you start into your 40s and 50s, the best part of their life is over, and that's just simply not true.
We actually have the opportunity to recreate ourselves, if we decide to do it and if we know how. Now let me ask you a question. What do you think your body uses to recreate itself? Where does it get the raw materials to build all those new skin cells and brain cells and bone cells, even new blood? Well, if you guessed food, you're right. As it turns out, that old saying, you are what you eat, is true. And even though most everyone has heard that maxim time and time again, what I've discovered is that very few people really understand it. In fact, very few people are clear about even the fundamental aspects of nutrition. Here's a case in point. You know, I'll never forget the first time I sat down in my office to talk shop with John Elway. So I asked John, I said, "What did you eat yesterday?" Well, he looked around. I think he looked up at the ceiling, and then he looked down, and he said, "I think the last time I ate anything, Bill, was yesterday afternoon. I had something to eat after practice." And I said, "John, what was that meal made up of? Protein, carbohydrates, vegetables?" And he turned and looked at me, and he said, "Bill, is a potato protein or carbohydrates?" And I said, "Oh boy, John, we got to talk." What I discovered was that John Elway, although he's an incredible athlete and a very intelligent man, was just as confused as everyone else about how to eat right. But it's really not his fault. It's not something we usually learn in school. We don't learn it at work, and most coaches and even most personal trainers don't know enough about it, and believe it or not, sometimes they know too much. They've read too many articles, studied too many textbooks, and gone to so many seminars that they're drowning in a sea of complexity and confusion. When it comes to nutrition, they suffer paralysis of analysis. And if they are not clear about what eat right means themselves, they can't teach it to you. Many of the people that I've worked with over the last few years are kind of like those trainers. They're so confused by all that information out there. It's coming at them from all different sources. So many experts seem to have an opinion about this, but we're not interested in opinions. We're interested in facts, what works and what doesn't. And what I do for them and what I'm going to do for you is clear up all that confusion. Because you see, the good news is it doesn't have to be complicated. What I've taught thousands of people and what you're about to learn is that eating right is not rocket science. In fact, once you get the hang of it, it's downright simple. Once you discover the right way to feed your body, you'll never have to relearn it. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people in this country have absolutely no clue what they're doing to themselves with the food they ingest day in and day out. Nor are most people aware of how much better they could look and feel if they stopped feeding themselves accidentally and started intentionally recreating themselves with proper nutrition.
The nutrition and supplementation and diet is a good 80% of making a physique transformation. It's very, very important. And once you start eating that way, and once your body has adjusted to not having all the carbs and all the junk and all the sugar, you at one point stop craving it.
One of the reasons it's hard to get through to people and help them understand what it really means to eat right is because there's just so many myths out there. What we want to do now is separate the myths from the facts so we can clarify this issue. Let's separate fact from fiction right here, right now, once and for all. Okay, here's the myth that really drives me crazy. To lose fat, don't eat. The fact is, to build a lean, healthy body, you have to eat. One of the most crucial errors people make when they attempt to lose body fat is severely restricting calorie intake. They stop eating, and that doesn't work. You see, if you try to starve off unwanted fat, you're playing a game you can't win, and your body will fight back by significantly decreasing the rate at which it burns calories. This is one of your body's survival mechanisms. It lowers your metabolic rate when you starve it. So when you start losing that body fat, you also lose muscle. You begin to feel tired, you begin to feel weak, and you sometimes get irritable. Not only that, your immune system suffers. You develop nutrient deficiencies and literally thousands of metabolic reactions that should be happening miraculously in your body every second of every day misfire. To make matters worse, when you do start eating again, which everyone does that goes on one of these low-calorie starvation diets, you gain all the fat back that you lost, and as a special bonus, you gain more. That's because you've turned your body into a less efficient fat-burning machine. When you lose that muscle, you lose the ability to burn calories. What I discovered is that it really is possible to lose fat without losing muscle. In fact, you can lose fat and gain muscle and improve your mental and physical strength at the same time. And you can do it in as little as 12 weeks. But to make that breakthrough, you have to work with your body instead of against it. You must let go of the myth that not eating is the right way to lose fat. You must accept that you need plenty of good quality nutrition to build a better body. When you start eating the right way, I promise you'll see and feel the difference. Okay, here's another myth. If you exercise, it doesn't matter what you eat. The fact is, when you exercise, it matters even more what you eat. This myth is at the root of a big problem in America. You see, even though more people are exercising now than ever before, more people are not getting results. And they're beginning to give up on exercise, which is just so disappointing for me because taking that first step, actually going to the gym and starting to move your body and exercise, is a big step. But you know, that's not the only step. That's just a one and a big 1-2 punch of exercise and nutrition. What I see are literally millions of people who are completely overlooking the fact that physically active individuals need more nutrients than their sedentary counterparts. Exercise and nutrition, like the mind and body, are linked together. And that brings us to the Body for Life program, which is an integrated system. And what I mean by integrated is that it's complete, it's multifaceted. It's a complete solution that takes into account all the essential elements to transform the body from fat to fit, or from fit to fitter. Mindset, nutrition, exercise, recovery. When you take away any one of those essential elements, you no longer have a solution. You no longer have a complete integrated system. You merely have a piece or two of the puzzle. And that just doesn't work. Believe me, folks, I've tested this thing every way to Sunday. And the bottom line is this. If you don't have the raw materials in your system to rebuild from the micro damage caused by intense exercise, it's like you've got the lighter and you're flicking the spark, but you have no butane. You have to have both, the fuel and the spark. By not becoming a victim to the myth that exercise alone is all you need to get fit, by accepting the fact that optimal nutrition is just as important as exercise, you'll be one step closer, make that a quantum leap closer to achieving the level of success that you rightfully deserve. Okay, let's take a look at another myth. Eating right means 3 square meals a day. The fact is, believe it or not, the right way is eating 6 times a day. If you look at how humans evolved, you'll see that our long-lost relatives were what I call frequent feeders. They weren't bingers. That means they ate small amounts of food frequently throughout the day, and they didn't sit down and eat great big meals infrequently. The fact is, the right way is eating 6 times a day. And now I know that might seem hard to believe, but you can actually eat more often and lose fat faster. And it's one of the scientific facts that's out there that is just being covered up by this myth that 3 square meals a day is the best way. The fact is, to transform your body, to look better, to feel better, to improve your health, you must develop the pattern of eating frequently throughout the day. I call it grazing. You should never go more than a few hours while you're awake without eating.
You must eat 6 meals a day. And I think another part is to eat the right things. You can never allow yourself to get out of control, to get hungry. If I were to skip a meal, it would be nothing at all to suddenly go into a binge and eat things I shouldn't.
There are many reasons for this. One is that eating often helps keep your body's food alarm in check, helps convince your body and your mind that it is not going through a period of famine. Also, studies show that eating often helps accelerate the metabolism, so you burn more calories. And when you graze, when you eat 6 nutritious, smaller meals a day, the food is more efficiently absorbed and processed by your body than those 3 big, clunky, old-fashioned American meals. In fact, when you eat every few hours, you'll have more energy, less hunger pangs and cravings, and I'm certain you'll just flat out feel better, a lot better.
I was very fatigued before. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I laid around. I was very tired. Now I have energy, I have motivation, and it just changes your outlook.
Okay, now that we've addressed that myth, let's expose another. High carbohydrate, low fat diets work best. Okay, the fact is, America is getting fat and sick from a carb overdose. You see, all these people out there have been told that they should lower their dietary fat intake and that carbohydrates are a great replacement. But see, this is not the best way to get lean and healthy. It's not the best way to ward off many of the health-related problems that are being caused by how we eat. Folks, the bottom line is this. If you want to lose fat, you want to get healthy, and you want to get the fastest results you can from the amount of time you spend exercising, we're going to balance protein and carbohydrate intake. We're going to minimize fat intake, and we're going to feed our body frequently with the quality nutrients that it needs. You want another myth? All right, how about this? You have to count calories to know if you're eating right. Okay, the fact is, you should count portions, not calories. I've learned that most people in the real world don't count calories. They never have, they never can, and they don't care about it. They won't do it. It's impossible to keep track of it. Even I can't keep track of it. So what I did is design the Body for Life program to fit into the lives of real people. I developed a solution. What we do is we count portions instead of calories. So what's a portion? Well, a portion is an amount of food that's roughly equal to the size of your clenched fist or the palm of your hand. For example, if a baked potato is about the size of your clenched fist, that's a portion for you. If a chicken breast is about the size of the palm of your hand, that's a portion of chicken for you. As we just discussed, on the Body for Life program, I need you to feed your body frequently. I need you to eat 6 small meals a day, and I define a meal as a portion of protein and a portion of carbohydrates. It's really quite simple to follow once you understand the portion rule. Okay, here's another myth. If you eat right, you don't need to take vitamins or supplements. The fact, scientific studies show many of us do need to take supplements. Supplements have become so popular among athletes and active, health-conscious individuals that I feel it's very important to gain at least a basic understanding of just exactly what we mean by supplements. Consider this. Even if you had all day, every day to do nothing but shop for and prepare the freshest, healthiest whole foods that you could find at your grocery store, or if you had a full-time personal chef to do it for you, you still couldn't be certain that you were getting all the nutrients that your body needed to recover from exercise. What scientists have discovered is that the nutrients found in 2 identical-looking oranges can be completely different. I've used supplements every day for the last 10 years, and I recommend them to every single one of the athletes, actors, and everyday people that I help with this program. The reason is because taking vitamins and supplements takes the guesswork out of providing your body with optimal nutrition. And remember, if we're going to make rapid progress on this program, we cannot have our cells misfiring because they don't have one of the essential nutrients that our bodies need. Okay, here's another myth. You'll know when to drink water because you'll be thirsty. Well, that's not exactly true. The fact is, your body needs a lot more water than it's telling you. Water is the source of all life, and healthy muscle is comprised of over 70% water. It serves a vitally important role in all cellular activity, but most people just don't drink enough. They think that they should only drink water when they're thirsty, or they drink diet soda, or they drink tea, or they drink coffee. I'm talking about good, clean, pure water. You can drink it with your meals, you can drink it in between meals, I don't care. Just drink it and drink it often.
I'll drink a little more than a gallon of water. I always keep a gallon of water with me and sip on it all day.
I never drank juice or sodas. I made sure that I wanted to keep my system working as efficiently as possible, so I consumed as much water as I could.
You would think the body retains a lot of water, but actually when you drink a lot of water, it flushes your body out, which is great.
Now that we've discussed the myths and facts about nutrition, we've learned a lot more about how to eat right. Let's talk about exercise. Once again, what we need to do is separate the facts from the myths and bring some clarity to this issue as well. So let's get started. Here's a myth that I have just about gotten sick and tired of. Aerobic exercise is better for getting in shape than weight training. Okay, look, here's the fact. If you want to transform your physique, you have to train with weights. Walking around the block or simply climbing a flight of stairs or doing jumping jacks is better than doing no exercise at all. But folks, the best type of exercise for anybody is weight training. You see, through resistance exercise, we can not only sculpt and build the body, but you can also significantly increase the metabolic rate. That's the rate at which your body burns calories. Aerobic exercise does increase calorie burning, but only while you're doing it and for a short period of time afterwards. However, with weight training, you increase muscle mass, which means you burn more calories, and you can change the shape of your body. So if you start an aerobic exercise program and you're shaped like a pear, the best possible result is that you end up looking like a smaller pear, which is fine if that's what you want, but that's not what I call a transformation. You see, through weight training, you can shape and sculpt the body, building broader shoulders, a more narrow waist. And did you know that muscle takes up 5 times less space than fat? Studies confirm that weight training not only helps you burn fat and build muscle, but it strengthens the heart, it increases the bone mass, lowers cholesterol, and can even help you extend the active, fun years of your life. All right, here's another myth. If women lift weights, they'll look masculine. The fact is, weightlifting is the best form of exercise for women who want to change the shape of their body. So if a woman were to replace the amount of body fat on her thighs with muscle, it would be smaller, firmer, and stronger, and even more feminine. You see, women who are worried about bulking up with weights need to understand this. It's your body composition that determines how you look. It's replacing fat with muscle that allows you to transform your physique.
A lot of women have the misconception that if they train with weights and take bodybuilding supplements, that they're going to end up like the Incredible Hulk with big muscles, or, look like some of the women that take steroids and compete. That's just not going to happen. It takes years and years and years and drugs to get to look like that.
The bottom line is, any woman who's interested in losing fat gaining strength, increasing muscle tone, and transforming her physique should be weight training. Tens of thousands of women have successfully completed my transformation challenge, and they look beautiful. There's nothing masculine about these women. And if I have anything to say about it, the number of women who work out with weights over the next 3 years is going to triple. It's just the right way to exercise. People are beginning to understand that women should be training with weights.
I could see results in about 4 weeks. It was like the fat was just changing. The muscles started developing, and I could actually see the definition coming out. It was amazing.
The number of women using free weights in America has more than doubled in the last decade, from 8 million to 17 million. This proves that if they're given the opportunity and the right information, women will cross that abyss we talked about earlier much better, much faster than men. Women should be more concerned about not having enough muscle than rather too much. Okay, here's the next myth. Weight training is only for athletes and young guys. Okay, the fact is men and women of all ages can benefit from weight training. You see, if we don't work out, we lose muscle mass as we grow older. And believe it or not, this process begins kicking in right around age 25. This is when most men and women start seeing their body fat levels increase. From their early 30s to their mid-60s, the average American man's body fat doubles, going from about 18 to 36%. In that same time frame, the average American woman's body fat can bulge from 33 to 44%. At that same time, they lose muscle mass. Okay, so we get older, we get fatter, we lose muscle mass. We lose muscle mass, we lose strength. We lose strength, then, well, we just get tired, fragile, weak. We can't do the things we love to do. But this doesn't have to happen. We can recreate ourselves. And weight training is one of the best ways to do that. And this isn't just my opinion. Recent university studies show that people in their 60s and 70s can build muscle and increase their flexibility by up to 200% by weight training just 3 times a week. The fact of the matter is, you don't have to have some advanced level of fitness or some special skill before you can begin weight training. No matter what your current level of fitness is, whether you're a beginner or whether you've been working out for years, you're ready to step into the weight room right now. As a matter of fact, I think it's more difficult to start an aerobic exercise program than it is weight training. Here's another exercise myth that causes a lot of problems. The more exercise you do, the better. All right, the fact is, more is not better. You know, this is one of the myths I fight on a daily basis. You see, on my program, you only exercise for 4 hours a week. That's it. That's all you need. And despite what so many people believe, working out more is not better. It's really not. In fact, my best workouts are only about 20 to 45 minutes. I don't think anyone needs to work out for more than an hour at a time. The exercise program that I recommend is brief, it's intense, and it's very effective. With this program, you can stimulate fat loss, you can build muscle, you can improve your health. You can completely change the way you look in as little as 12 weeks with this program. But I'm constantly asked, how can so much be done in so little time? Well, you need to accept the fact that weight training exercise is not an endurance event. The objective is to stimulate your muscles, not annihilate them. You don't get extra credit for putting in extra hours. In fact, you get penalized for it. That's because your body, my body, and everybody else's body has a limited ability to recover from intense exercise. Your workouts should provide the precise amount of stimulation needed to trigger an adaptation response. And for that, you only need to exercise with weights 3 days a week. All right, here's another myth. Muscles grow while you're working out. The fact is, muscles grow while you're resting. It's between workouts that your muscles repair themselves, growing stronger and firmer and healthier. It's between workouts that you must fuel your body with the proper nutrients to feed those muscles. And it's between workouts that you must allow yourself the time to rest and relax to ensure proper recovery. Here's another myth. Lifting a weight is what stimulates muscle growth. Here's the fact. Lifting and lowering the weight stimulates muscle growth. You see, on any free weight exercise, there's 2 basic motions. One's called the concentric phase, the other's called the eccentric phase. During the concentric phase of an exercise, that's when you lift the weight up. That's when the muscle shortens or contracts. During the eccentric phase is when the muscle stretches. Okay, a prime example of this is the bench press. When you lift the weight up, you press it from your chest to the lockout position. That's the concentric or positive phase. When you lower the weight from the lockout position back to the chest, that's the eccentric or negative portion of the exercise. A lot of people forget that lowering the weight stimulates muscles. So they press the weight up real fast and they let it fall right back down. And that's a good way to do it if your goal is to get half the results. But if you want all the results, you have to press it up under control and lower it under control. This is a very important technique that we want to remember for when we begin our workouts.
One thing I really did on this program was, because of the increased intensity, by slowing down my repetitions, I cut down the sets and my time in the gym, which was good too, because I'm busy.
Okay, let's recap what we've learned so far about what eat right and exercise really means. We eat 6 small meals a day. We don't try to starve ourselves. We consume a portion of protein and carbohydrates in every meal. We drink at least 10 cups of water a day. We use supplements to help provide our bodies with the optimal levels of nutrients that we need day in and day out. And we perform weight training exercise. See, by now we've reached the point where we're ready to put it all together. You've done a great deal of thinking so far. You've answered questions most people never even ask. You've become more clear about your goals. You've decided to let the 12 weeks serve as a defining moment, a period which could divide your life into 2 very distinct time zones, before this and after this. Consider all the knowledge you've gained up to this point as the ingredients. Now all we need is a recipe, a specific plan, a step-by-step formula that eliminates the guesswork and puts us on the right path. It's a recipe that's taken me over a decade to develop, and it integrates everything I've learned from countless hours of scientific research, personal experience, and the real-life success stories of thousands of people.